Hi, my name is Katerina Sparrow. I'm the Senior Manager of Global Brand Communications at Ascendion, and today I'm very excited to speak with Wes about balancing business and tech. Wes, thanks for joining me today. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. I'm Wes Pullen. I'm Field CTO and Vice President within Ascendion. Honored to be here. To be honest with you, Katerina, my focus is helping companies actually gain value out of democratizing and ensuring capabilities, not only with our platform, but following best practices for AI or agentic AI based workflows and making them realizable in the business at scale and not just experiments.
Excellent. So with that, let's get right into the question.
Absolutely.
So what is the most important thing no one is talking about when it comes to balancing business and tech?
Ooh, you hit me with a doozy to start with. Okay. So, Katerina, I thought about this a little bit, and I believe the real issue is not whether technology supports the business. I would submit to you this morning that the real issue is whether the business is designed to move at the speed technology now makes possible. What that really means is that the most important thing people are not talking about is the operating model debt. Many organizations that are adopting AI, cloud automation, and modern engineering practices, Katerina, on top of these decision structures, funding models, approval cycles, governance processes, and more, they were built for a slower era. What that means is that technology may be modern, but the way most enterprises are making decisions dates back 10, 15, 20 years ago. That's not going to work. You know, what that really equates to is that technology stops being a cost center and can become a business acceleration system when we do it the right way. So let me just give you a sound bite to close this segment out or close this question out. Business and technology are no longer separate lanes. They are one value stream, one value system coming together. And AI raises the stakes because it accelerates both value creation and it accelerates mistakes. So the two have to be aligned.
Excellent. Thank you, Wes. So AI is changing every role, process, and tool in software engineering, but human judgment and skills matter more than ever. What does that tension look like in practice?
So at a high level, AI can accelerate the work, but human judgment really determines, Katerina, whether the work is worth doing, whether it's safe to release, and whether it's aligned to the business outcome. So in practice, the tension shows up, I believe, when organizations confuse AI output with engineering accountability. You got to make sure that that's clear. So the role of the developer, the role of the architect, the product owner, and engineering leader, they're all changing. The skill is shifting, and it's shifting toward judgment, asking the right questions, decomposing problems well, validating real life business outcomes, and understanding the context as well as managing risk. When it's done appropriately, AI increases the value of human judgment, but the consequences of the poor judgment now scale faster as well. So again, two quick sound bites on this to wrap this question up. AI honestly should compress cycle time, not compress accountability. We still need accountability. The second, the new skill is not just prompting anymore. It's knowing what good looks like. And good as it pertains to our enterprise clients, as it pertains to their customers, as it pertains to internal capabilities as well.
Thank you so much. In transformational shifts like this, some organizations pull ahead while others struggle to keep up. What makes a difference?
Thought about this one a little longer. I scribbled some notes, but I was like, you know what? The best way to address this is that I would submit to you that the winners do not treat transformation as a technology rollout. I would submit to you that the winners, they treat it as leadership, operating model, and execution discipline. So I've got a couple of thoughts that I kind of thought in my mind that there are three things I'd like to share on this particular question. Organizations that pull ahead usually do these three things pretty well. First, they connect the transformation to a clear business outcome. They know that they are not adopting AI because it is interesting. They're using it to improve modernization speed, reduce defects, increase release confidence, and more. Second, they figured out a way to create the conditions for scale. That means governance, security, Katerina, funding, metrics, talent enablement, and executive sponsorship are all designed into this transformation from the outset, from the beginning. And then third and final, they have figured out a means and a way to measure value relentlessly. Let me repeat that. They measure the value of this system relentlessly. In other words, they know whether AI and engineering modernization are improving throughput, quality, cost, compliance, as well as business impact. So most companies are ambitious. The difference is execution architecture and the ability to convert strategy into something that's governed, repeatable, and measurable, and deliver it at scale is critical. So the two sound bites here, I would say, are pilots create learning, but what we're realizing is that operating models create scale. And transformation fails when it's measured by activity instead of core business outcomes.
That's great. Thank you. So what does all of this mean for developers, the ones building careers today and the ones just starting out?
This is a good one. I think there are plenty of articles out there, people much smarter than me, that are saying, hey, the developer role is eliminating, their developer role is getting accentuated. I would submit to you that I believe the developer role is not disappearing. I think when done right, it gets elevated, that the best developers will become AI amplified problem solvers who understand code, who understand context, who understand systems, and they relate it to business value. So I would submit to those listening who may be developers that this is both a challenge and an enormous opportunity. The most valuable engineers in the next 5 years will not be the ones defined only by how much code they can write. They'll be defined by how well they can understand problems, design systems, validate AI-generated work, manage complexity, attempt to lower cost where appropriate, and connect technical decisions to business outcomes. So for developers already in the workforce, this message is to embrace AI as an amplifier, but do not outsource your judgment. You own the judgment. I'll say these two sound bites. AI will not replace strong engineers. It will expose weak engineering practices much faster. And the final and the second one, fundamentals matter here because you cannot validate what you do not understand.
That makes sense. And one more question for you today. When you walk into a client's engineering organization, what is the first sign that tells you they're ready for this shift or that they're not?
Probably the most difficult question to answer because I know there's a lot of enterprises listening to this. So this is my soundbite or my thought on this, that what I have come to understand in working with many, many different slices and kinds of clients, whether it's a private equity owning a series of portcos to actual businesses that are trying to ramp and some even just getting started, is that readiness shows up in whether leaders can clearly connect engineering work to the business outcomes. I've said this several times, but this needs to be echoed. And whether they have the governance discipline to scale change safely. So the first sign that stands out to me, there's probably two signs. It's a sign of readiness. That is clarity. So when I walk into an engineering organization and leaders can clearly explain the business outcomes they need, the constraints they face, the systems that matter most, and the risks that they must manage, along with metrics that can define success, they're closer to the ones that are ready. The second thing that I would look for to indicate that the business is ready or the engineering organization is ready is discipline. That's cost discipline, token discipline, rollout discipline. Ready organizations have some foundational pieces along the lines of governance, architecture, ownership, engineering standards, DevSecOps or DevOps best practices, quality expectations, executive alignment, and executive accountability. So if every team is experimenting independently, no one can explain the cost of AI usage, and this is not showing that you're ready. So the good news is readiness can be built. The key is to start with the operating model, not just the tool set. So two sound bites on this. Clarity is the first signal of readiness. You have a clear understanding of the business outcome and what you're doing. And governance is not the enemy of speed. Good governance, critical governance, is what makes speed safe.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Wes. You've given viewers and myself a lot to think about, so I really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Catherine. It's been an honor.